Good evening, everyone. I am Gladys, and I will be your host for this segment of tonight's performance of Recite. With me is Daniel, a Singapore Sign Language interpreter. Recite is SMU's first site-specific literary art and music project. It will be an immersive audience experience presented through interlinking sound spaces. We are now sitting on the steps below SMU's Lily Kong Library. The choice of this first stop is deliberate. If you look around you, you'll see red bricks embedded in the walls on both sides. These 850 bricks were once part of the beloved Stamford Road National Library, Singapore's first free public library, which was in operation from 1960 to 2004. Symbolically, SMU's Lily Kong Library is standing on the foundations of the old National Library, creating a never-ending library of knowledge. In this segment, we would like to present a recital of an original poem, written and recorded by SMU President and esteemed geographer, Prof Lily Kong, specially for this program. The poem, Remembered Places, is about the loss of architectural symbols, such as the Old National Library, and how they continue to live on through memories and stories. You may scan the QR code displayed here for the full text as you listen. Let's give everyone a few moments to do so before we begin. It seems like everyone is ready, so ladies and gentlemen, presenting Professor Kong's Remembered Places.
Remembered places. Soft is the wind that gently brings those beloved places on melodious strings. Bygone echoes an enchanted voice sings, recalling places as affection springs. Remembered places in the crannies of my mind. Meditative moments rekindle ties that bind, evoking a time when life was kind. In buoyant breeze, bodies unwind. Children's laughter gurgle from yesteryear. Place memories provoke a joyful tear. Gone, but not forgotten, ever here. Tinkling melodic strains that cheer. Tales written into red-bricked walls. Human stories in architectural halls. Ever present, the haunting voice calls. Obliterated site or urban overhauls. City centre, civic life. Reminiscent fragments or heritage rife. Neither abstract nor still life. To save or to demolish, a constant strive. A cityscape of design and infrastructure. A rhythmic body is etched architecture. An edifice of words that meanings structure. A multiplicitous city, a lasting, indelible picture. Precious are our memories, our places captured in documentaries. Forgetfulness finds new remedies. Precious are our memories.
Professor Kong's poem serves as the original source text for Recite. As we embark on our tour, you will hear fragments of various student poems, set to music and presented in different ways. These are poems written by students from SMU Literati and SMU Chamber Choir in response to Professor Kong's evocative text. If you wish to read the poems in full, you can find them on our ArtsFest website using the same QR code. In a short while, our docents will bring you to SMU Connexion. SMU Connexion is a built space founded on where the old National Library once stood. It is our very first net zero energy building, which means it is completely self-sustainable. We will start from a garden of bells, a flight of stairs linking the older SMU concourse with the new SMU Connexion building. Our choristers have taken position at various points of the staircase and will perform one-line fragments from their own verses in response to Professor Kong's poem. You, as the audience, will activate their performance as you move through the space. Remember to take your time and move slowly, walking up and then down the left or right stairs. Somewhere along this path, you may even chance upon a performer from stage it, reciting these lines. If you have difficulty with stairs, please also let our docents know, and we can make arrangements for you. We continue our journey in a cathedral of light at SMU Connexion Boulevard, where light projections of text adorn the ground. These phrases are taken from 5 other student poems. Inspired by remembered places, these students reflected on the transience of things, such as flower blooms, and everyday spaces, such as empty void decks. As you walk around, take in the text as prompts to form your own responses, and listen to the exchange of melodies above you. We end our experience in a sanctuary of silence at this section of SMU Connexion. Witness a performance in Singapore Sign Language by local deaf poet Lily Kong. Her poem is inspired by remembered places and is about her own memories of being shushed in the old National Library. The entire experience is approximately 20 minutes in duration. Moving slowly through the performance space later, you will see and hear how literary art and choral music bleed, blend, and blossom into one another. A symbolism of how activities, intentional or accidental, set the motion for change. Just like the creative process behind Recite, where Professor Kong's source poem inspires and generates the new literary writings by our students and guest artists. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to approach our docents. I believe that they are ready, so please take your time to come down the stairs and follow them. Thank you, and enjoy the experience.
My silent world. I stand between two red brick pillars. Towering buildings. And tall skyscrapers. Cars zoom, zoom, zoom down a busy street. The sun glistens and the wind blows. I stand between two red brick pillars. In front of large leading stairs.
A long time ago, in the library, there were endless rows of bookshelves. I walk in, take my backpack off, and put it in the locker. Up the winding steps, I enter the building and pick up a book from the shelf.
Words fly. Textbooks filled with
Anecdotes,
knowledge,
knowledge,
and information.
information.
A pile of books. The other patrons hush me. I am deaf in my silent world.
Comics filled with comedy, fantasy, and laughter. The other patrons hush me. I am deaf in my silent world.
Novels set in war
War
and conflict,
and conflict,
the devastation and horror. The other patrons hush me, but I am deaf in my silent world.
Now, it's time for the library to close. Out the building, the doors slam shut. Down the large leading stairs between the two red brick pillars, the wind
No longer blows.
and the sun no longer glistens. Cars zoom down a busy street. Tall skyscrapers and towering buildings. I stand between two red brick pillars. my silent world.